5 seconds. Start. In India, the occupational pattern has remained practically unchanged over the last 3 or 4 decades despite considerable increases in industrial production. Broadly speaking, agricultural and allied pursuits continue to observe about 70% of the working force. The secondary and tertiary sectors have not grown rapidly enough to make an impact on the primary sector, nor has the primary sector itself thrown up surpluses which would create conditions favorable for expansion elsewhere. Development involves a transfer of a part of the working force from agriculture to secondary and tertiary activities, but this in turn presupposes an increase in productivity of agriculture itself if the food and raw material requirements of a developing economy are to be met. Improvements in agriculture are thus the basis on which the secondary and tertiary sectors have to be expanded. These latter call for relatively large investment per worker employed so that the degree of shift that can be secured is ultimately related to the amount of investment effort which the economy can put forth. The objective of policy in India from the long-term point of view should clearly be to keep further increases in the agricultural working force to a minimum. In this sector, efforts should be concentrated on raising productivity and incomes. After a period, there should be a fall in absolute number on the land. There is also little scope for increasing employment in traditional small industries. The bulk of the new employment opportunities will therefore have to be found in mining and modern industry, both large scale and small scale, in construction and in tertiary occupation. Developments in the secondary sector will in turn lead to a larger demand for labor in tertiary occupations and will create new opportunities for small businesses and trades, offering scope for independent work. The second 5-year plan has been conceived as a broad framework within which such annual plans will be made. A plan covering a 5 years period has to be regarded as flexible. Planning is not a once for all exercise for a 5-year period. It requires a continual watch on current or incipient trend, systematic observations of technical, economic and social data, and adjustments of programs in the light of new requirements. Development of basic and heavy industries is given high priority. A large expansion of public enterprise in the field of industrial and mineral development is envisaged. The main responsibility for these programs rests upon the central government. These new programs will require large financial resources. But in addition, a great deal of strengthening of the organizational and administrative personnel available to government, as well as the adoption of expeditious procedures for taking decisions and executing them will be necessary. Programs of development for heavy industries, oil exploration, and coal may have to be expanded further. A beginning is to be made with the development of atomic energy. To this end, it will be necessary to augment rapidly the output of the means of production and to build up fuel and energy resources so vital for development. The results which the second plan promises are impressive, but it must be remembered that they call forth a correspondingly large financial and organizational effort. The increase in the output of goods and services over the planned period is to be secured through developments in both the private and the public sector. The two sectors have to function in unison. They have to be viewed as parts of the single mechanism, for the plan as a whole can go through on the basis of simultaneous and balanced developments in both sectors. Government can and will have to influence the trend of development in the private sector through appropriate regulatory devices. The Government of India industrial policy since independence has been shaped broadly in terms of the industrial policy resolution. Planning has proceeded on an organized basis, and Parliament has accepted the goal of a socialist pattern of society. There is now a clearer appreciation of the goals and direction of development. The new industrial policy resolution stresses the role and responsibility of the state in promoting development. The public sector has to be enlarged so as to include all industry of basic and strategic importance or in the nature of public utility services. Other industries which are essential and required investment on a scale which in the present circumstances only the state could provide have also to be in the public sector. The state has thus to assume direct responsibility for the future development of industries over a wider area. The new resolution gives two schedules of industries in terms of the responsibility of the state in respect of them. The first schedule consists of 17 industries in respect of which future development will be the exclusive responsibility of the state. In the second schedule are listed industries which will be progressively state-owned. The state will generally take the initiative in establishing new industries in this category, but private enterprise will also be expected to supplement the effort of the state. Full stop.